on gear, the mastery stat will modify this third one. So when you look at a piece of gear, it might say, oh, increases my poison damage, while a balanced druid might look at the same piece of gear and it'll increase a different stat for them. And then if you use dual spec or respec, the mastery you have will go ahead and switch to modify what you do better. So this is what we want to do with the talent UI for Cataclysm. We want to be able to show it 3 panes, no scrolling. And then you can see the passive bonuses you get for spending points in each tree. You can imagine as you spend an extra point in Assassination, those 3 numbers on the bottom there, melee damage, melee crit, and poison damage would all go up. And then you can see that in the combat tree, melee damage still goes up because you're a rogue, you need to do more melee damage, but then something else might change. In this case, armor penetration. And then subtlety would be different. So there might be diminishing returns so that you don't want to keep piling all of your points into one tree, like you don't want to go 61 into combat or something, but there's also benefits to going sideways into different trees, and you don't have to worry about the specific talent that you get so much as just spending points in that tree. We also put armor penetration as green for the combat tree. This is because this character has mastery stat on their gear, and it's improving their armor penetration even more. So like we normally show stats that are affected by gear show up as green. In this case, the character has most of their points spent in combat, so that's the mastery stat's going to go. Got all that? Here's some example of passive bonuses. We haven't worked all these out, and this is the kind of thing that's going to take a ton of iteration. But for example, Assassination Mastery might passively improve all of your poison damage. Subtlety might lower energy costs for your attacks. Beastmaster might improve pet damage, and Marksman might improve focus regen, because of course, hunters no longer care about mana. And then I mentioned the mastery stat already. It's a new tertiary stat that'll appear on your gear. Often you'll be trading off crit versus haste or mastery, because we're not going to put armor penetration on gear anymore. We think it's really, even though these all can still be a little mathy and affect your damage or healing or whatever in different ways, it's a little more intuitive to look at it to know, oh, if my crit goes up by 1%, I kind of know what that means based on my class and the talents that modify that. And the same thing would be true of haste. And then for mastery, you could say, hey, I'm a ret paladin. I know mastery is going to improve. Well, I'll show you in a second. It always picks the tree with the most points. We're not sure yet what will happen if you manage to spend an equal number of points in each tree. That's pretty rare. And for example, 51 points in Assassination would improve your poison damage. All right. Here is a Ret Pally example. And you can see here that because Mr. To the Ground here has spent 58 points in Ret, he gets melee damage, melee crit, and then ability cooldowns would be the one affected by the mastery stat. And you can see over on the character sheet with the tooltip, you'll always know what is exactly affected. You're not going to have to guess too much if you change specs a lot. Everyone will look at mastery. It works very similar. If you're familiar with the way feral druids, when they look at a weapon, it'll tell them their feral attack power conversion from that weapon, even though other players may not see it. So it'll be kind of similar there. All right. Last part of the talk. So we have this new feature.